I regret ignoring natto. 7 health benefits you need to know. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the Natto King. I am the author of Natto Unleashed and the Ikigai Diet. Alright, so I regret ignoring natto is a word I often hear from people who have ignored eating natto because they didn't know about its health benefit. Yeah. So how about you? Do you regret ignoring natto, or maybe not because you don't know all those health benefits? Yeah. But in fact, natto has so many health benefits, and it's a wasteful to ignore it. It's definitely something you want it to be part of your diet. Yeah. But it's not too late. Yeah. You can always start eating natto today. Yeah. Especially if you have children. They have a bright future ahead of them. And in fact, as I told you, that people who enjoy eating natto, many of them have grown up with natto, like including myself. But people in East Japan, grew up with natto. So usually kids are more flexible to, have a new diet in their, a regular habit. Yeah, but once you become adult, and then when you see natto, maybe the smells and the taste and everything kind of stops you from trying it. Therefore, I recommend that you introduce natto to your children and then help them get used to eating natto early on, so that their adult life will
비타민
transform
D하고
completely.
약은 1시간 후에
So
먹는
the
거고
kids can develop a new diet. It's not too late for them.
이건 필요 없고.
And also, I say that I believe in local food. I'm a promoter of local cuisine and local food. Anyone should eat your traditional local food. Yeah, especially if you live in Europe, such as Britain, France, Germany. Yeah, because your diet is very much ingrained with your culture, climate, and the landscape. And over the centuries, that style has developed, and then it is supposed to help your health and well-being. Yeah. However, local food has a different meaning in the new continent, such as North America or Australia, because your diet, is from your ancestors in Europe, right? Or mostly, right? And then that is not necessarily, based on your climate or your landscape. Yeah. So in a way, if you live in a new continent, you need to develop a new diet based on your climate and landscape. Yeah. But unfortunately, the diet which has developed in your culture is a kind of a commercially produced by, food industry. It isn't based on your climate or landscape, or definitely not based on your health. Yeah. So now it is a perfect chance for you to develop a new diet based on all the scientific discoveries we have about health. Yeah. And especially if you live in a multicultural society, there isn't a single diet. Yeah, you can have a diverse.
Have you heard about the natural enzyme nattokinase? Word is, it's so effective at cleaning the blood. If you take too much, you run the risk of internal bleeding, and you might even bleed out. Sounds terrifying, right? Well, that might be exactly what a pharmaceutical company wants you to believe. Today, I'm going to show you why that theory scientifically doesn't hold up. Hi, I'm Danny Curtin. Thank you for joining me today. I've been personally using and recommending nattokinase for over 2 decades, and it's always been a novel and somewhat niche ingredient. But with cardiovascular issues surging since 2020, the secret is out. Nattokinase is gaining serious attention. But with anything new, as more people discover its potential to turn back the clock on cardiovascular health, a wave of questions and concerns has followed. One of the main concerns...
Hi, I'm Nathan Ritter from cardiogauge.com. I'm a cardiologist in New York. My full-time job is preventing and treating heart problems, so obviously I'm interested in anything that looks like it's good or bad for heart health. About a year ago, a patient asked me about vitamin K2, and because I knew nothing about it, I researched it. That led me to studying natto, which is a traditional Japanese food. It's gooey and slimy. Let's take a look at it here. It's got two main ingredients, soybeans and Bacillus subtilis, a bacterium that lives in the dirt. The stretchy, stringy stuff is a probiotic goo produced by the bacteria. In this video, I'm going to discuss a study about natto and its health effects. At the end of the video, I'm going to eat natto live for the first time on camera in front of one of my kids, Charlie, who is quite curious if I'm going to think it's nasty or delicious. I'm optimistic because generally I like weird foods. Natto is a traditional Japanese food that people over the years noticed that it seemed to be associated with health benefits. So it was included in a big Japanese nutritional study called the TEKKEN8 study. The point of this study was to investigate the roles of diet and other lifestyle factors in the cause of cancer and other chronic diseases, like coronary artery disease and strokes. The study included 32,000 residents of the Takayama city. The study authors assessed many factors in the participants' diets, and one of those factors was natto consumption. So these approximately 32,000 people were asked how much natto they ate. They were followed for 16 years. There were 1,678 deaths from cardiovascular diseases, basically including stroke and heart attack. It turns out the chance of dying from a heart or blood vessel problem was 25% less for people who were the highest natto consumers compared to people who ate no natto. So there was an association between natto intake and better heart health. They did not prove that natto is good for you. They just proved that people who eat natto are a little bit healthier than those who don't eat it. In absolute risk terms, it was a decrease of 6.6% to 4.9%. Let's be generous and call that a 2% decrease over 16 years. So if you were one of the highest natto consumers, you had a 2% less chance of stroke, heart attack, dying from something like that, as compared to someone who didn't eat any natto. So really, it was a pretty small benefit, 2%. Something I want to point out is that the people who were in the highest natto consuming group actually didn't eat that much natto. They averaged 7 grams per day, which is a tiny little bit. It's less than a tablespoon. So these people were not wolfing down huge scoops of natto at every meal. They're having a little bit once a week. And that's as compared to people who had none. So it makes you wonder some about how much benefit you'd had if you ate a lot of natto. So I want to boil it down for you without all the blah, blah, blah. Natto is a slimy food that looks like this. People who ate this much natto had a 2% less chance of dying of a stroke or heart attack as compared to people who ate no natto. And
우리
lastly, it's
할아버지가
unknown for sure whether or not natto is actually good for you
stroke?
because
What's
the study
stroke in
proved an
Korean?
association, but not cause and
Stroke
effect.
in Korean.
So now I'm going to try natto for the first time. I hope I like it because
Stroke
I paid $12 for this jar here, so kind of pricey.
in
Charlie's here. He's pretty curious if I'm gonna barf or not.
뇌졸중. 우리 할아버지가 뇌졸중 있으셔가지고
Kind of
몸
smells pretty
관리를
weird, I'm gonna be
잘해야 돼.
honest with you. Oh, down the hatch, right? Actually, I've never smelled anything like that. It smells like a campfire mixed with shoe fungus. Kind of a smoky type situation.
Smells like beer.
Stuff's hanging off my chin.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like campfire?
It's definitely like smoky comes to mind. They're like strands of bacteria sludge all over the place here. I could eat it. I could eat it.
You could eat it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Tasted plenty of worse stuff. Oh, weird heck for. Jeez.
아, 맥주 냄새나.
Take a spoon, buddy. So,
Okay.
go ahead. Take a feed.
See? Okay. That's natto here. Oh my gosh, this looks like nasty.
Down the hatch, boss.
Oh, I'm gonna get a little smaller. Ew.
Chew and swallow, baby. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, that's so gross. Oh, that's so nasty. Oh, oh.
Anyway, wow. Still there are like strands of natto sludge like on my face right now. Okay. I think there's strands everywhere. So,
I'm looking for
something I've learned in my
else.
research about vitamin K2, nattokinase,
Where are the
natto,
benefits of
is that
natto?
you can read about something,
Power of life.
look at all of these different things that are in natto. You can go to a website.
Sticky, smelly, and slimy. But what if I told you that this unusual Japanese food is one of the best kept secrets for
아, 혈관이 열려지는 것 같아. 이거 먹으니까.
and strong bones.
아,
Today we're
몸에
discovering the food
좋은
that Japanese people eat
건강 고통이 느껴.
and why it might just be the ultimate superfood.
온몸.
Hi, I'm Michael, and this is Long Life Healthy Way, where we explore the simple wisdom and health traditions of Japan.
아, 이거 말고 효능들이 어딨냐? 이건가?
Staying strong, healthy, and
아,
youthful.
AI.
By subscribing, liking, and ringing, you can greatly support our channel and help us.
Benefits of vitamin K2.
Benefits of vitamin K2.
Well, hello everybody. Today, it gives me great pleasure to talk to you about calcium.
So today I'm going to talk about vitamin K2 and some of the functions that go way beyond just dealing with bone formation. When we talk about vitamin K2,
The health benefits of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is an important nutrient which is also known as menaquinone. Many people have a deficiency in this, which leads to problems with calcium in the body. K2 is found naturally in fermented foods and animal products, but can also be purchased as a supplement. In today's video, we highlight all of the health benefits of vitamin K2, explain how it works in the body, and how you can get more of this into your diet. 1. Strengthen bones. Vitamin K2 plays a very important role in the metabolism of calcium in the body, the main mineral found in your bones and teeth. K2 transports calcium into the bones and teeth, which strengthens them. This can help those with osteoporosis, osteopenia, or bone fractures. 2. Heart health. Getting more K2 into the diet from food or supplements is well known for strengthening the heart and the cardiovascular system. It takes unwanted calcium deposits out of the soft tissues and moves it into the bones and teeth where it belongs. This effectively strips away plaque from the arteries and blood vessels, allowing blood to flow freely in a natural way. It is recommended for those who suffer with conditions like coronary heart disease or other cardiovascular problems. 3. Energy levels. The small energy factories in your cells are called mitochondria. These use calcium and other minerals to generate energy in your body. K2 helps the mitochondria to utilize calcium and increase energy levels. K2 also helps to improve blood flow to and from the heart, making you have a better cardiac output. Simply put, this means you will have much higher energy levels and be able to exercise with more stamina and endurance. 4. Joint health. Those who suffer with arthritis or problems in the joints will also benefit from taking vitamin K2, as it helps to remove excess calcium deposits which may be causing inflammation in the joints. K2 will remove calcium from outside the joint and place it in the synovial fluid where it belongs to strengthen the joint. 5. Kidney stones. The most common form of kidney stones are called calcium oxalate stones, which are formed from poor digestion of fat or foods high in oxalates. Consuming vitamin K2 helps to prevent the stones from forming in the kidney and also helps to break down and remove them. Drinking lots of water and taking potassium citrate will also help. 6. Strong teeth. As with the bones and the joints, K2 will transport calcium deposits into the teeth. This will strengthen them and make them less likely to form cavities, making them stronger with age. This is especially helpful for those who have consumed too much sugar. You will also notice that the teeth are cleaner, as K2 helps to prevent plaque building up on the teeth. 7. Eye health. Those who suffer with poor vision, macular degeneration, cataracts or other eye problems usually have oxidative stress in the eyes. Calcium builds up in these small muscles and the cornea, which can damage the eye even further. Taking vitamin K2 and healthy foods rich in retinol will help to repair the eye tissues. 8. Medicines. If you have a history of taking lots of antibiotics, heart medications and antacids, then it is likely that you have a vitamin K2 deficiency. These drugs cause side effects which prevent you from absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like K1 and K2. You can improve absorption of K2 by taking purified bile salts or apple cider vinegar capsules. 9. Nanobacteria. There are certain nanobacteria which are involved with various health problems in the body. They are linked with forming stones and conditions like polycystic kidney disease, periodontal disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and prostatitis. These tiny bacteria protect themselves with a small shell of calcium. Vitamin K2 can help break down the protective shells so that your immune system can destroy these pathogens and prevent the above health issues. 10. Breathing. Many people suffer with calcification in the soft tissues of the lungs, bronchial tubes and sinus. This is connected to conditions like asthma and may make you have excessive coughing at night time. The excess calcium causes a weakness in the tissues and makes the small tubes behind the nose become swollen and inflamed. Vitamin K2 helps to regulate this calcium and reduce inflammation in these areas. As you can see, vitamin K2 plays an important role when it comes to mobilizing calcium and using it properly in the body. Unfortunately, many people are deficient as they do not eat enough K1 from leafy greens or have absorption problems from eating too many junk foods. We recommend taking a supplement of vitamin K2 daily in the form of MK7. This is a natural variety and will rapidly boost your energy and vitality.
Welcome, Self-Principal. As always, I'm Dr. Sean Hashmi. Self Principle is all about sleep, exercise, love, and eating a whole food plant-based diet. And this channel is really about answering all of your questions. So today's topic is all about vitamin K2. What do you need?
비타민 K2 효능.
비타민 K2 효능.
안녕하세요. 설명이 짱이에요. 약짱 TV입니다. 비타민 K2가 무엇인지 어디에 어떻게 좋은지 설명해 드리겠습니다. 비타민 K는 1, 2, 3로 나뉘는데요. 녹색잎 채소나 보통의 비타민 영양제에 있는 것이 K1이고요. K1은 혈액 응고나 다크서클, 딸기코, 실핏줄 등에 좋은데요. 그런데 혈액순환과 관련된 항응고제를 복용하시는 분들은 주의를 해야 하는 비타민입니다. 비타민 K2는
나또가 몸에 잘 맞는다.
다르게 뼈에
진짜.
칼슘을 넣어주는 비타민인데요. 비타민 K2는 메나키논과 메나테트레논으로 다시 나뉘는데 그 MK7이라고 불리는 메나키논이 더 활성이 좋기 때문에 효과가 더 좋다라고 알려져 있고요. 비타민 K2는 혈관 내의 칼슘을 혈관 밖에, 즉 뼈로 이동시켜주고요. 칼슘을 뼈 안으로 집어넣어주는 그런 비타민입니다. 혈관 내의 칼슘을 어떻게 혈관 밖으로, 그러니까 즉 뼈로 이동시켜주는가 하면은 MGP라고 하는 단백질을 활성화시켜서 그렇다고 하고요. 칼슘을 어떻게 뼈 안으로 집어넣는가 하면은 오스테오칼신을 비타민 K2가 활성화시켜주기 때문에 그렇다고 합니다. 이 MGP라고 하는 단백질은 원래 그 혈관에 칼슘이 쌓이지 않게, 그래서 혈관에 칼슘이 쌓이면은 혈관이 경화되고 석회화되고 건강에 문제점을 발생시켜주고, 칼슘이 심장에 과도하게 쌓이면은 심장에 또 건강상의 문제가 생기는데, 이렇게 문제가 생기지 않게끔 MGP라고 하는 단백질이 일을 해주는데, 그 일을 잘하는지 못하는지를 비타민 K2가 일을 잘하게끔 해서 혈관 건강에 좋다라고 하고요. 뼈에서도 뼈에 칼슘이 들어가려면은 오스테오칼신이라는 게 있어야지 뼈에 칼슘이 잘 들어가는데, 이 오스테오칼신이 일을 잘하냐 못하냐도 비타민 K2가 일을 잘하게끔 이렇게 해준다고 합니다. 뿐만 아니라 치아도 뼈잖아요. 치아도 뼈인데 치아에 칼슘이 잘 들어가게, 그리고 혈관이나 침에 있는 칼슘을 뼈로 잘 이동시켜주게 하는 것도 비타민 K2가 잘 해준다라고 합니다. 그런데 안타깝게도 비타민 K2가 들어가 있는 우리 국산 영양제는 현재 없습니다. 그래서 한국에서 비타민 K2를 구입하기가 어렵고요. 그래서 해외 직구를 많이 하고 계십니다. 그러나 해외 직구를 해서는 안 되는 품목입니다. 왜냐하면은 식약처에서 인터넷 구매 대행 수입 금지 성분입니다. 수입 금지로 비타민 K2는 수입하면 불법이다, 이렇게 명시를 하고 있고요. 이게 왜 그런가 하면은 이제 부작용이나 이런 부분이 좀 있어서 그렇다라고 하는데, 비타민 K2는 원래 병원 처방약으로 허가가 됐습니다. 전문의약품으로 병원 처방약으로 허가가 돼서 일부 대학병원에서 어떻게 골다공증에 뼈를 좋게 해주는 그런 성분으로 처방이 됐었습니다. 그런데 지금은 또 생산이 잘 안 되고 있긴 한데, 어쨌건 왜 이렇게 우리가 영양제로 구할 수가 없는가 하면은, 그리고 수입이 금지되어 있는가 하면은, 비타민 K2는 이제 주의사항이 있는데, 혈액 순환하고 관련된 와파린을 드시는 분, 뇌졸중 약을 드시는 분, 심장 스텐트를 하신 분, 심장 판막 수술을 하신 분, 장기간 누워 계시는 분의 경우에는 비타민 K2가 증상을 더 악화시키거나 아니면 약의 작용을 방해할 수가 있기 때문에 해당 의사나 약사에게 꼭 상의를 하고 비타민 K2를 드셔야 되는 문제점이 있고요. 비타민 K를 음식으로 섭취할 수도 있는데요. 비타민 K1은 녹색잎 채소에 많이 들어가 있고요. 비타민 K2는 콩 발효식품에 많이 들어가 있습니다. 비타민 K는 콩에 사포닌이 발효되어서 많이 생성이 되는데요. 우리가 콩을 그냥 먹어도 우리 몸에서, 장에서 장내 세균에 의해서 발효가 되면서 비타민 K2가 생성이 되기도 하고, 아니면은 콩 발효식품을 전통 발효식품을 먹음으로써 K2를 많이 섭취할 수가 있는데, K2가 어디에 많냐면은 낫또, 청국장, 그리고 후무스라고 하는 식품에 많이 들어가 있습니다. 낫또는 아주 유명한 콩 발효식품이잖아요. 낫또를 섭취하면 직접 음식으로 먹어도 비타민 K2를 우리가 충분히 섭취할 수가 있고, 우리의 전통 음식인 청국장을 자주 많이 먹게 되면 K2를 충분히 섭취할 수 있다고 합니다. 그리고 이거는 중동 사람들이 먹는 거라고 하는데, 병아리 콩이 있습니다. 병아리 콩 우리 마트에도 팔거든요. 병아리 콩이 아니고 병아리 콩을 발효시킨 후무스라고 하는 음식이 식빵에도 발라 먹는다고 합니다. 이런 것들이 K2가 많이 들어가 있다. 그래서 우리가 뼈 건강을 위해서 칼슘 보충제를 많이 먹잖아요. 칼슘 보충제를 먹으면은 칼슘이 우리 몸에 흡수가 돼서 혈관을 통해서 다시 뼈로 가야 되는데, 혈관에 침착되고 쌓이면은 혈관 석회화가 돼서 건강에 안 좋으니까 비타민 K2를 다시 보충해주면은 혈관에서 뼈로 잘 이동을 해서 우리 몸에 더욱 좋다, 이렇게 정리가 되는데요. K2는 콩 발효식품, 낫또, 청국장, 후무스 같은 콩 발효식품을 섭취를 함으로써 우리가 혈관에 칼슘이 쌓이지 않고 혈관 석회화가 나타나지 않고 뼈로 잘 이동해서 뼈가 튼튼해질 수가 있다, 이렇게 정리를 하면 되겠습니다. 이렇게 비타민 K2에 대해서 알아보았습니다. 내용이 마음에 드시면 구독과 좋아요를 눌러주시고요. 알람 설정도 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 다음에 더 좋은 영상으로 찾아뵙겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.
이제 바꾸자. 이게 더 편하네. 이게 더 편해. 등이,
Mishima, Shin Kazama. Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle.
Going somewhere?
Round one. Fight. Round 3. Fight.
알았어요.
Round 4. Fight.
아야.
Get ready for the next battle.
아, 이자 엄청 편해. 으아. 닥터덕.
안녕하십니까, 닥터덕입니다. 오늘 여러분과 함께 비타민 K2에 대해서 배워보는 시간을 가질 건데요. 되게 중요한 비타민 K2 일단 기능에 대한 전체적인 공부를 오늘 할 겁니다. 그래서 강의를 먼저 들으신 다음에 비타민 K2에 대해서 일단 어떻게 우리가 이용을 하고 어떻게 섭취를 해야 되고 왜 복용을 해야 되며 어떤 환자들한테 도움이 될지 전체적인 정리를 한번 하고 마감하는 시간을 가질까 합니다. 일단 강의 먼저 듣고 오시겠습니까? 네, 오늘은 여러분과 함께 비타민 K2에 대해서 배우는 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 비타민 K2는 MK4와 MK7 이 두 가지로 주로 이루어져 있는데요. 비타민 K가 발견된 히스토리를 보면은 1929년도에 처음 이름을 지어지게 됐는데 여기 보시면은 코아귤레이션이라고 적혀져 있는 코아귤레이션 비타민이죠. 이게 혈액응고 비타민인데 독일어로 K로 시작합니다. 그러다 보니까 이름을 비타민 K라는 이름을 붙이게 되었습니다. 그리고 나서 이제 이게 좀 더 대두되기 시작하면서 1989년도가 됐을 때 adequate intake라는 개념이 이때부터 처음 이제 나타나기 시작했는데 그 정도로 적당량을 얼마만큼 먹어야 되는지에 대한 개념이 이제 논의되기 시작한 지가 얼마 되지 않았어요. 그러다 보니까 아직도 RD의 개념이 없는 상황이라고 보시면 됩니다. adequate intake, 적당량 얼마만큼 먹어야 되느냐에 대한 얘기를 할 때 보시면은 마이크로그램 단위가 되고요. 보통 태어난 지 돌 되기 전에 아이들 영유아 같은 경우는 2에서 3 마이크로그램 정도를 얘기하고 있고 1세부터 18세까지는 30 마이크로그램에서 70 마이크로그램 보고 있다면 19세 이상에서는 남자는 120 마이크로그램, 여자는 90 마이크로그램 정도. 개인에 따라 식습관에 따라 많이 편차가 있을 것 같아요. 어떤 분들은 굳이 안 먹어도 충분하게 비타민 K가 몸 안에서 만들어지거나 흡수되고 있을 수 있고요. 어떤 분들은 거의 없을 수 있기 때문에 과연 얼마만큼 먹어야 될지에 대한 얘기는 좀 더 고민해 봐야 됩니다. 특히 K1 같은 경우는 실제 음식에 되게 많이 들어있어요. 우리가 녹색 채소 안에 보면 케일이라든지 이 양배추인데 지금 이게 100g 단위 정도 보면 되거든요. 2분의 1컵에 관련됐을 때 그때 520 마이크로그램입니다. 에딕티트 인테이크의 개념보다도 훨씬 많죠. 시금치 510이나 들어있고요. 뭐 브로콜리 같은 경우도 110 들어있고요. 그래서 제가 주로 좋아하는 양배추 브로콜리 많이 먹으라고 하는데 그거 먹으면 K와는 부족해질 수가 없죠. 그래서 RDA를 갖다 70에서 140까지 잡고 있는데 야채를 어느 정도 드시는 분들이라면 거의 K1 부족이 올 수는 없을 것 같습니다. 근데 문제는 K2죠. K2 같은 경우에는 낫또에는 939 마이크로그램 들어있어요. 이거는 어떤 기준이냐면은 음식 100g 기준을 잡았어요. 낫또 100g 기준에 939 들어있죠. 낫또 매일 드시면은 굳이 K2 부족도 올 수가 없겠죠. 소고기 같은 경우도 이 소가 풀을 뜯어 먹은 소의 경우에는 이제 소고기 내에 100g 안에 263 마이크로그램이 들어있어요. 그러니까 초지 소고기 같은 경우 드시면 K2를 따로 드실 필요도 없죠. 왜 치즈라든지 뭐 닭고기도 마찬가지고 이것도 이제 달기 낳은 계란 같은 경우도 풀을 먹이지 않는 풀을 뜯어 먹게 하고 곡류를 주지 않고 자연에서 그냥 방사에서 키운 닭 같은 경우에는 비타민 K도 37 마이크로그램 정도 들어있으니까 우리가 먹는 식단 안에서도 잘 찾아보시면은 K2가 중에 들어올 수도 있습니다. K2의 종류에는 MK7하고 MK4가 있는데요. 차이는 다른 게 아니고 여기 사이드 체인이 붙어있는 개수에 따라 다른데 4개가 붙어있으면 MK4, 메나키논 4라고 부르고 7개가 붙어있으면 메나키논 7, MK7으로 불러지는데 뭐 큰 차이보다는 반감기의 차이가 좀 큰 것 같고요. MK7이 좀 더 반감기가 길고 MK4는 좀 짧은 것 같습니다. 비타민 K2의 주요 기능에 대해서 보시면은 제일 중요한 게 일단 뼈 대사죠. 골다공증 예방을 하고 정맥경화증 예방하는 이 두 가지가 가장 큰 효과입니다. 실제 혈관, 바스큘러 카시피케이션에서 혈관 내에 있는 칼슘의 양을 줄여주고요. 또 뼈 안에 있는 미네랄리제이션, 그 칼슘을 증가시켜주는 이 두 가지 기능을 함께 갖고 있습니다. 그러니까 정맥경화증에 효과가 있고 뼈 건강에 도움이 되는 거죠. 그러니까 MK7은 뼈를 파괴하는 오스테오플라스트는 억제를 하고 뼈를 만드는 오스테오블라스트는 촉진시켜주죠. 그러니까 뼈가 몸매스가 증가하겠죠. 혈관 같은 경우는 지난번에 말씀드렸듯이 비타민 K가 충분한 이때 K는 K2가 되겠죠. MK7이라고 보시면 되는데 이게 충분할 때는 혈관 내벽의 가시피케이션이 줄어들고 혈관 내벽이 깨끗해지는 데 비해서 이 K가 부족할 때, MK7이 부족할 때는 혈관 내벽의 가시피케이션이 증가한다는 거죠. 네, 이거는 우리 현미경으로 본 건데 비타민 K가 충분할 때 혈관 내벽에는 특별한 문제가 없죠. 근데 이제 부족할 때 보니까 이게 꺼먹게 보이는 게 가시피케이션입니다. 석회화입니다. 혈관 내벽에 석회화가 끼게 되면 혈관이 딱딱해지겠죠. 또 이것도 보시면은 건강한 뼈는 이렇게 생겼고 비타민 D나 비타민 K2가 부족할 때는 골다공증, 골감소증이 생기게 됩니다. 혈관 내벽도 비타민 K2가 부족해지면 동맥경화증이 진행된다는 원천입니다. K2의 다른 기능은 신장 결석을 예방하는 기능인데요. 이 슬라이드는 신장 내에 칼슘이 침착돼서 신장 결석이 유발되는 그 원인에 대해서 몸매스의 감소에 의해서 나온 혈액 속에 있는 칼슘이 배설되는 과정에서 만들어진다는 간단한 슬라이드입니다. 그 다음에 K2의 주요 기능 중에서는 당 대사와 호르몬 대사에 관련된다는 이 두 가지 기능이 있는데요. 오스테오칼신이 우리 몸에서 되게 중요한 호르몬적인 역할을 하게 되는데요. 이 오스테오칼신이 아주 액티브한 폼으로 만들어지기 위해서는 두 가지 비타민이 필요합니다. 비타민 D와 비타민 K2입니다. 건강한 오스테오칼신이 만들어지고요. 이 오스테오칼신은 췌장에는 인슐린 분비를 촉진시켜주고요. 베타셀을 프로리프레이션을 증가시켜주니까 당뇨 환자한테 당연히 좋은 편이죠. 그러니까 우리가 당뇨 환자들한테 독이 된다고 제가 말씀드렸죠. 그러니까 당뇨 환자들은 비타민 D나 K2를 섭취하는 것들을 기억해 하시면 됩니다. 지방세포 내에서는요, 인슐린 센시티비티를 증가시켜서 혈액 속에 녹아져 있는 당들을 빨리 흡수시키는 데 도움이 되고요. 팬매스도 줄여주고요. 그 다음에는 고환에서 테스토스테론을 만드는 걸 증가시켜줍니다. 뇌 같은 경우에는 뉴로트랜스미터 프로덕션을 증가시켜주고요. 그러니까 전반적으로 다 좋은 기능을 하게 되죠. 췌장에서 분비한 인슐린 같은 경우가 뼈 내에서 이네티브 폼의 오스테오칼신을 액티브 폼의 오스테오칼신을 바꿔줄 때 이 중간에 지금 표시가 없지만 이때 필요한 게 K2가 있고요. 액티브한 오스테오칼신이 하는 기능이 다시 한번 췌장에 가서 베타셀의 프로리프레이션을 증가시켜서 인슐린의 분비를 촉진시켜주는 역할을 하게 되는 거죠. 그리고 얘는 또 이리로 가서 고환에서 남성 호르몬인 테스토스테론을 또 만들게 도와주는 거죠. 점셀의 생존을 증가시키며 남성 호르몬의 활성을 증가시키는 좋은 역할을 하게 됩니다. 그 그 다음 K2의 주요 기능은 충치와 단물을 예방하게 되는데요. 처음에 치과 의사가 비타민 K를 복용하기 시작했습니다. 첫 번째는 세 번째가 원인이고 치아가 되게 구르죠. 화학도 발달돼 있고, 근데 이런 두 부류의 어떤 원주민들에게 서양 식당을 많이 주다 보니까 얼굴 형태가 되게 예쁘다고 생각하는 V식으로 바뀌게 됐지만 치아를 보시는 경우가 되게 많아졌죠. 치아 우식증이 유발했습니다. 치아 우식증을 유발하는 원인균들이 있을 건데요. 이게 비타민 K2가 부족할 때는 이런 원인균들이 더 많아졌다는 부분이고요. K2가 충분할 때는 원인균이 줄어들었다는 차이가 있습니다. 두 번째는 충분한 칼슘이 치아 내로 폐기에서 들어감으로 인해서 이빨이 건강해질 수 있게 도와주는 게 비타민 K2가 하는 기능입니다. 이 두 가지에 대한 차이가 있습니다. 그 다음에 마지막 K2의 주요 기능은 뇌세포의 기능을 향상시켜주면서 치매 예방에도 도움이 된다고 보시면 됩니다. 엔자이머 프리벤션과 브레인 펑션에 대해서 비타민 K가 어떻게 좋은 일을 하는가, 그에 대한 자료도 있었습니다. 네, 지금까지 비타민 K2의 주 기능에 대해서 충분히 이제 살펴보았는데요. 이렇듯이 비타민 K2가 부족해지면 생길 수 있는 여러 가지 질환이 있다 보니까 여러분들이 잘 살펴보시고 공부하신 다음에 부족해지는 비타민을 충분히 섭취할 수 있도록 노력하셔야 할 것 같습니다. 오늘 여기까지 공부하겠습니다. 강의 잘 들으셨습니까? 비타민 K는 지용성 비타민 중에서 A, D, E, K 중에 하나거든요. 그래서 K가 이름이 붙게 된 이유는 강의에서 들으셨겠지만 독일어로 응고인자, 코아뷸레이션 할 때 K가 들어가니까 거기서 따와서 비타민 K라고 이름을 붙였어요. 그래서 되게 중요한 역할을 하는데 실제로 코아뷸레이션 팩터인 비타민 K가 부족해서 응고장애가 있는 사람을 보기가 되게 어렵죠. 대부분 우리가 먹는 동양 식단에서는 녹색 채소를 많이 섭취하기 때문에 실제로 비타민 K1이 부족해지는 경우는 거의 드물고요. 일단 오늘은 주로 K2에 대해서 배우는 거기 때문에 K2의 기능이 훨씬 더 중요하거든요.
Vitamin K2 is an essential nutrient that plays several important roles in the human body. In fact, some researchers believe that it is a missing link between diet and several of the world's most deadly chronic diseases. Which is why in this video, I will explain what vitamin K2 is and some of the essential benefits this nutrient can provide based on scientific research. So, if you're ready, let's get into it. First and foremost, you should know that vitamin K2 is a nutrient that's closely related to vitamin K1. Both are important for human health, but they have different bodily functions. Vitamin K1 is primarily found in plants and is responsible for blood clotting. Vitamin K2, on the other hand, is found in animal-based foods and plays a role in bones and heart health. If you're looking to increase your intake of vitamin K2, there are several foods rich in this nutrient. Some of the best sources include cheese, pork, chicken, beef liver, butter, sauerkraut, and eggs. Now, let's talk about the benefits of vitamin K2. The first benefit that I want to mention about vitamin K2 is that it promotes a healthy heart. Cardiac arrest and heart disease are two of life's most frightening illnesses. But there's good news, as vitamin K2 can help protect your heart. Studies have shown that this nutrient can reduce the risk of coronary heart disease by 9% for every 10 micrograms consumed daily. This occurs because consuming food rich in vitamin K2 helps break down calcium deposits while preventing fatty materials from forming in the arteries. In addition, vitamin K2 can also help prevent cardiovascular disease by reducing arterial stiffness. This is because the nutrient helps maintain elasticity in the arteries, which is essential for proper blood flow. Multiple studies have supported this research, which is why you may consider adding more foods high in vitamin K2 to your diet. Another great benefit is that it helps build strong bones. As we grow older, a significant health problem we all face is fragile bones. This is because our bodies can no longer absorb calcium efficiently, leading to a higher risk of bone fractures. But vitamin K2 may be able to help. This is because it activates a protein called osteocalcin, which helps calcium bind to the bone. In addition, vitamin K2 has also been shown to increase bone mineral density, which reduces the risk of fractures as we age. A 3-year study on a woman past menopause showed a slight decrease in age-related bone and mineral density. A separate study showed that the intake of vitamin K2 reduced spinal injury instances by 60%, hip injuries by 77%, and non-spinal related injuries by 81%. Therefore, if you want stronger bones, you may consider consuming more foods rich in vitamin K2. Another incredible benefit of this vitamin is that it may potentially help prevent cancer. A perfect world, free of killer diseases like cancer, would be a dream come true. Unfortunately, cancer is a harsh reality that humans must endure. However, it's possible that the foods we eat can potentially help us prevent this disease. Some researchers believe that vitamin K2 contains anti-cancer properties, with one study showing a 63% reduction rate in advanced prostate cancer. It also shows overall survival and reduced recurrence of liver cancer. Although more research is needed in this area, the potential cancer-preventing benefits of vitamin K2 are promising. This is especially true if you're in the high-risk category. Therefore, consuming more of this vitamin may help reduce your chances of getting cancer later in life. The next benefit on our list is that it improves dental health. Dental health is often overlooked, but it's an essential aspect of overall health. Poor dental hygiene can lead to cavities, gum disease, and tooth loss. Luckily, vitamin K2 may be able to help. This is because it helps promote calcium absorption and prevents demineralization of the teeth. One study looked at how vitamin K2 activates osteocalcin, a protein essential for dental health. It promotes the production of dentin, which is the calcium-containing tissue found below tooth enamel. In addition, vitamin K2 is also believed to help reduce gum inflammation and bleeding. So, if you're looking...
Hello YouTube, hello, and we're back again. Of course we are, as we always are. So, today, we're going to be talking about Down Back 2 on Kazuya. And I know some of you guys are like, it's not really a new move, Duelist. You know, this has existed. But the changes have been so big that it's basically a new move now. Basically, it is a new move. Because the usage of it is completely different. Almost completely different anyway. It's not too different, but yeah. So yeah, let's start talking about it. First, let's talk about what are the actual changes. So Down Back 2, this move right here, got a lot of changes. And it was a buff. It was 100% a buff. So, what were the changes? If you guys look at the attack startup frames for Gaz, it was 18 frames now. So this move used to be 20 frames fast, now it's 18, which is a 2-frame startup improvement. It's faster now, which is very, very good. 2 frames is a very, very big deal. So, very good change. Other change was on block. Now instead of -9, it's -4, which is a 5-frame improvement when it comes to on block. Super, super good, because now on block, actual mind games take place. So you can sidestep after it, you can backdash after it, you can even mash after it, like a down jab, even while staying 1+2, all of this can work. But yeah, I'll explain this a little bit further later. But yeah, super, super good change. And the other change which also happened is that their opponent does not recover crouching anymore on block, but recovers standing. Which means that you can't really bait a while standing 4 here, or any while standing move in general. So that's a nerf, but it's fine because of the frames change. The -4, it's pretty strong, I would pick this any day. So these were the 3 main changes about Down Back 2. The other thing is that counter property got changed to this weird knockdown animation. No matter what you think about this animation, I don't like it personally, but the knockdown is still really, really good. You get a 444 guaranteed here. You got I think a stomp's guaranteed as well. You got some stuff guaranteed, and this floor breaks on counter hit as well. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. And it has some extra bulky if you guys use maybe, I don't know, Down Back 4 here. And use a little bit of a different situations for less damage, but it's slightly better okay. Like you can do a lot of stuff with this counter, but yeah, these are the overall changes of Down Back 2. But what about the usability of it? Like how good is it? I've been testing this out for a week now because I thought that it had the potential, basically. That's what I thought. And I still think that, by the way, I still think this is a pretty good move. Actually, pretty good move. So let's talk about moves. So why do I think it's good? One is because of the startup frame change. This actually can be used in a lot of situations when you're, let's say, -8 or -9 and you want to check your opponent. and you can't really trick your opponent into, let's say, 4-4, which usually is very, very good because of its limited range. You can't always do it. For example, let me just.
아, 나 아, 그런다. 저거 항상 맞더라. 아, 딱. 우유 마실 때니 방귀가 계속 나오네.
Get ready for the next battle.
Army. Army.
Fight.
No perfect for you.
Round 3. Fight.
Ah. Good job. Nice.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one.
필살기 썼는데. Ding down from the south. Easy win. Lost the war though. God damn it.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle.
Shit. 아, 왜 안 돼? 자, 새로 바뀐 기술. 아, 나 정말. 와. 아, 왜 그걸 했을까? 아, 나 잘못 눌렀어. 아, 잘못 눌렀을 때. 끝. 화나겠다. 너무 쉬웠는데?
Get ready for the next battle.
약 먹어야 돼. 물 떠가지고 올게요.
person cannot be prosecuted twice for the same crime. I know when Rodney Hollingshead was murdered, and I know who the real killer was.
No more. Go on. The mystery will be solved when I read the ending tomorrow.
Ah! Why would he stop there?
He was just about to say who the killer was.
The doctor did. No way, genius.
Oh, here we go.
Last night, something terrible happened. Our shepherd was murdered.
No! George is dead?
Probably a heart attack. Not much of a story for you, I'm afraid.
Unless there's anything out of the ordinary.
Nope, I've looked everywhere. Around the caravan, underneath the caravan.
What about inside the caravan?
Worth a shot.
Lily, what will we do? George loved us. He read us dozens of these stories. We shall solve the crime.
You all think you're smart enough to solve a know what humans who can't think for themselves.
Ducks.
Sheep. He's talking about you.
I'm George's lawyer. Mr. Hardy left $30 million. We have our motive. The people in the will are always the suspect. Look around
Did I
for a
turn
better
to a
window.
mine?
I'm going in. Sheep.
What's that neighbor's truck doing here?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I want to bash it. I want to bash it so bad.
Stop! We've been over this. We don't bash things unless...
This is a legitimate cause for bashing.
I'm George's daughter.
She was here that night.
I have a question. Do you have a boyfriend? That's a standard question.
Are we lambs or are we rams? The real world is more complicated than a book.
We're not scared.
Well, but what is that?
I think it's a road.
But what is it made of?
Well, not grass, I can tell you that.
This movie looks so fun. Mother's Day weekend. Wow.
You thought that could hurt me? No. That was just to get your attention. Jesus, Nolan, right for the throat. After everything that we've been through. Keep out of this, Cecil. Who did this? We have no idea. Not yet, anyway. But we'll find out. And when we do, they're gonna look a hell of a lot worse than your dad right over there. Cecil Stedman, director of the GDA. You know, I can't do that, Nolan. faced death more times than I can count, but I'll be damned if that didn't put my balls in my throat. Pick up your jaws. You're not tourists. This isn't a holy site. This is your job. The sooner you get up to speed, the sooner people stop dying.
Hey, Cecil? You missed a spot?
Left that one there as a reminder. And when you prove yourselves worthy of the heroes who came before you, it'll get cleaned off. Until then, stare at it whenever you think you're hot. Leona was all mine.
Oh, God. Nolan? You monster.
He's not dead. Even after evacuating the neighborhood, we had to keep the yield down. Best it would do is knock him on an hour or two.
We should focus on the,
I'm gonna run and use your bathroom while you deal with that.
Yeah, down the hall, on the left. Whoa!
Christ almighty, I didn't think she would ever leave.
Hey! Oh, what are you... How did you know Amber... Are you spying on me? You've got a lot of...
Someone murdered the Guardians of the Globe last night.
Oh, my God.
All of them. Tore them limb from limb. And we tried like hell to bring them back. But Nolan was the only survivor.
How is that even possible?
We don't know yet. We also don't know why your dad was at Guardians HQ. A working theory is whoever killed the Guardians lured him there. Tried to wipe them all out at once.
Why?
Why? Well, that's the easy part. There isn't a supervillain alive who doesn't want Omni-Man and the Guardians.
This guy is super cool.
Nolan!
No. Oh. Hey. Sorry. I meant to teleport to your front door, but this thing isn't exactly Swiss in its precision. But you want to be a superhero, right? Fame, glory, get the pretty gal?
I mean, that's sexist, but... Okay.
Well, then the whole concept of personal privacy or me time, that's out the window. When the world needs you, you answer your phone. Debbie, good, we need to talk about it.
Nolan killed the Guardians of the Globe.
I know.
How could you know and not tell me?
I couldn't risk Nolan finding out we knew. Not until we figured out what he was doing and how to stop him. We failed on both those counts, by the way.
What do you mean, stop him? Do you mean kill him? Cecil!
I'm not sure we could kill him. Not us, anyway. Don't worry, she hasn't flushed yet.
I don't even work for you.
And you never will. Not unless you show a little respect and decide if you want to be a superhero or not. $400 billion for the world's most expensive nosebleed.
Omni-Man is back on course to intercept Invincible and Adam Eve.
Power up the teleporter.
You said we couldn't teleport them yet.
It's not for them.
Do you have any leads yet?
Someone thinks they're too clever for us. They all think that at first.
Where? Where is this? At?
Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Oh man, this is so fun.
Kids in school these days.
Wow.
You kids did good, Robot.
Thank you, Cecil. It's an
I'm gonna watch this.
Though your use of the term kids might be considered
Prime Video.
Victory? No. Do you know how many people died here yesterday? 338. 338. And it only stopped there because you ran or ran away. Ongoing, repeated ups of monumental proportions.
That's a little harsh, Cecil.
That was a nice way of saying, Kate, don't push me. From one giant show to another.
코딱지가 계속 쌓이네.
Whoever did this cut the power and the backup. They killed the cameras and the security systems. Forensics, frankly, is stumped. I told them to start over and try harder.
That's not good news. That's not good news at all. I ask you for some good news, Donald. Get the hell out. Everyone.
Come on, you heard the director. Move it.
Jesus Christ. Are we going to lose him?
It's a possibility, sir.
No. We need him. Do whatever it takes. Get a sample to the lab, just in case.
What does sending Mark away get us?
A chance to see what this kid can do. And more importantly, if his heart's in the right place.
And if it isn't?
One nightmare scenario is enough to worry about right now, Donald. Fine. Knock yourself out. Help us solve the case, oh great horned Holmes.
Sir, are you sure?
Hey, you got a problem with the demon? Thought you were an atheist, Donald. Here's the need to know. We've had multiple corroborated sightings of Darkwing, which is perturbing me considering that I personally ID'd what was left of his ribcage last year. Oh, sorry. It's okay. We figured you'd be better off without it.
You mean you'd be better off? You had no right.
What do you want, Donald? You'd rather be dead? You know the world we live in, what the job is. There's no time for existential angst.
Angst? That's what you call it?
That's enough. Lights.
What the hell just happened? Where'd all that go?
The water America drinks so conveniently from their taps is laced with a chemical that inhibits the ability to see certain frequencies of light. Those frequencies are used in this room.
So it's all just invisible?
You and everyone else in America do not have the ability to see the things in this room. You'd be surprised how often we use this.
Wild.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to get rid of me.
It's because of the Guardians Massacre that I want you on this mission. The planet needs a win right now, and this is it.
You think people are going to care about Mars if there's an attack on Earth and I'm not here to save them?
I think they're going to care if the first 4 people to walk on another world end up dying there.
This is pointless. You can't stop me.
Yeah, you're right. I can't. But I can do the same thing I've been doing since I figured out you were a lying piece of I can buy us a little more time. That's the problem with demons. You only see good and evil, black and white. Well, I need to keep things gray until I can figure out why Nolan killed the Guardians and how to stop it.
Say I'd see you in hell, but there's a worse place waiting for you.
Dead soldiers, serving their country one last time, thanks to that monster over there. Shut it! I feel dirty even talking to you.
Based on bone and muscle density scans, the simulations give Mark a less than 18% chance of surviving a combat encounter with her.
Ah. Well, isn't that poetic? Now you care about the demon? He's not dead, he's just back in hell. I don't know if Mark is with his father or against him. So I can't call off the one thing that might stop them both.
This is why I have always hated you.
That's why I hate me too.
You're late. For what? Low tide?
Something like that. Turns out the Atlanteans are sore about Omni-Man murdering their king Aquarius. Since your dad vanished like a fart in a hurricane, Atlantean law dictates that his sentence falls to his next of kin. You.
What's so funny about that?
You're the most powerful man on the planet, but even your kid won't listen to you. What, this doesn't happen on Viltrum?
No, it doesn't.
Mark's a human teenager. It's what they do. It's reassuring, really. Before I go...
I already told you everything I remember.
Right. Just go over it for me one more time.
I got a distress call from the Guardians, but when I arrived, everything seemed fine. Then the lights went out and someone attacked me. I fought with them until I passed out. Woke up in your hospital. That's it.
You want me to go to war against an entire underwater civilization?
Who said anything about war? According to Atlantean custom, the only way to atone for the king's murder is to marry his widow.
What?
It's an honor. You think about it.
I can't marry a fish. I have a girlfriend.
Relax. Strictly symbolic. All you have to do is go through the ceremony. Maybe kiss the bride. Then all is forgiven and everyone moves on. It's easy. That's it. Must have been a pretty tough bastard to take you down. I've never seen you lose like that before.
Damn, that is the most interesting cartoon I've ever laid eyes on. And this chair is making me feel amazing. Wow. My goodness gracious. Quantum possibility.
Hi, Dr. Gerhauser here. The natural foods
Oh,
diet
I
is
remember
really
you.
into making sure you have sources of
Gerhauser.
fat-soluble vitamins in your diet. They are what are so many times missing in the processed foods diet. Now, these vitamins include A, D, E, and K. So let's talk about vitamin K today. Vitamin K is the fat-soluble vitamin that most clinicians and patients know is related to blood clotting. Now, they are talking about vitamin K1. K comes from the German word coagulation. Most people also know that the major source of this vitamin is green leafy vegetables such as spinach and Swiss chard. Now, since the 1980s, studies have shown a correlation between vitamin K intake and the risk of fractures. More recently, studies have begun to correlate vitamin K to other diseases and conditions. Now, as far as bone density is concerned, it is known that calcium is incorporated into the protein matrix of the bone by activated osteocalcin. Osteocalcin is activated through a carboxylation process that is catalyzed by vitamin K. Studies have shown that people with the highest percentage of inactivated osteocalcin have 5 times higher hip fracture rate than those with activated osteocalcin. It's also been shown that vitamin K2, which is different than vitamin K1, is much more efficient than vitamin K1 for activating these osteocalcin levels. Vitamin K2 then is sort of the new guy on the block. Exciting initial research is showing that it may have a large influence on many body functions. Now, Japanese studies have already shown that supplementation with high levels of vitamin K2 can reverse osteoporosis with no side effects. Does this sound like a safer, saner treatment as opposed to drugs like Fosamax that actually kill? Research is showing that it may have a large influence on many body functions. Now, Japanese studies have already shown that supplementation with high levels of vitamin K2 can reverse osteoporosis with no side effects. Does this sound like a safer, saner treatment as opposed to drugs like Fosamax that actually kill the osteoclast cells in the bone? Other side effects of these drugs include damage to the esophagus, death of the jawbone, and increased bone fragility, where people get spontaneous femur fractures. That's fractures without doing anything. Now, Japanese studies have already shown that supplementation with high levels of vitamin K2 can reverse osteoporosis with no side effects. Does this sound like a safer, saner treatment as opposed to drugs like Fosamax that actually kill the osteoclast cells in the bone? Other side effects of these drugs include damage to the esophagus, death of the jawbone, and increased fragility, where people get spontaneous femur fractures. That's fractures without doing anything. Now, vitamin K2 is produced by fermentation. That is why fermented dairy products are a great source for K2. Another source for vitamin K2 includes natto, which is a fermented soy food eaten in Japan. I've never tried it, but I've heard it has a developed taste and smell. Now, animal fat and other organ meats are other sources of vitamin K2. There's evidence linking persons and animals deficient in K2 to abnormal calcification of soft tissues, such as the arteries. Vitamin K2 activates matrix GLA protein, which is a major inhibitor of arterial calcification. A large clinical trial done in Europe showed that low vitamin K was strongly associated with the risk of developing coronary artery disease, and higher levels showed reduced mortality. Now, studies in animals have also shown that supplementing with K2 can completely prevent the calcification of our arteries in certain animal models. Now, the same studies, they tried K1, and K1 had very little effect, so there's a big difference. So it may be that vitamin K2 is the reason for the French paradox. You know the French paradox? The French people have low rates of coronary artery disease despite eating all that fat and cheese. So now you can stop guzzling all that red wine. There's no reason to. It's the cheese. Just kidding. The calcium deposition in the walls of the artery might also make the artery stiffer, so K2 deficiency may relate to
아, 이 저 너무 편하네.
Research has also shown that vitamin K2 catalyzes an enzyme
이 저 안 쓴 이유가 너무 높아서 그러는데 그래도 써야겠어.
have been associated with brain aging and guess what? Alzheimer's disease. Another possible area where vitamin K2 deficiency might be important is as a potential cause of kidney stones, again related to calcium metabolism. It could be that increasing K2 in the diet with supplements or in the food could prevent kidney stones. Recent studies have also shown that higher K2 levels greatly reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Other studies have showed it reduces varicose veins, skin aging, and helping with growth. There is other evidence that K2 may have important ramifications for the immune function. It's also noted that there are K2 receptors in mitochondria and the nucleus of many tissues. So I get the feeling we're only discovering the tip of the iceberg as far as vitamin K2 effects. Now the foods that give you K2 may impact the risk for osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, brain diseases like Alzheimer's, immune dysfunction, kidney stones, and cancer. Now, what are the foods that are high in vitamin K2? Well, it's mostly animal source foods, including hard cheeses, butter from grass-fed cattle, and not the factory farm butter that you get from Safeway. Organ meats, egg yolks from pasture-raised chicken, curd cheeses. Notice that these foods are the ones modern nutritionists tell us to avoid. Now there's K2 supplements in the form of MK4 and MK7, and there's evidence that these may treat vitamin K2 deficiency. Now some people say, well, your gut flora makes all the K2 you need. Well, the K2 made in our gut flora is bound to the bacterial cell wall, and it's not bioavailable, so it's not a good source for K2.
Oh,
now, it's not that I'm jumping on a bandwagon here. It's just that the science is finally catching up to the intelligent design of our Creator. All we have to do is eat the traditional foods for humans and avoid modern food processing in order to have abundant health. I was eating these foods that have all this K2 long before K2 was discovered. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button above.
I hate this guy. I think he's lag switching. Damn.
You lose. You're going out with nothing to show for it.
Hi, I'm back, and we're going to talk about vitamin K2 and something called pathological calcification. Okay, now what is pathological calcification? This is a condition in your body where calcium is developing in the wrong places. It's usually involved in blocking of the arteries. It could also be the calcification of part of your stomach, kidney, as in kidney stones, or even calcification in polycystic kidney disease. It could also be calcification in your lungs. There's calcification in the breast tissue, calcification of the cornea of the eye. So it's calcium deposits involved in certain disease states. Now there's a lot more to know about this condition, but I just wanted to give you some of the basics. So we have this calcium that is developing in the soft tissues of the body, not in the bone. this calcium could be developing as a need to act like a band-aid because there's oxidation in the vascular system or a certain part of the body, and let's say you don't have enough vitamin E to protect that oxidative lesion, or selenium, which is a very powerful antioxidant involved with glutathione, which is the main antioxidant of the liver. Then you have the added ischemia, which is a lack of blood flow. That combination of low nutrients, damage to the tissues, low blood flow, calcium will tend to invade and start to actually heal the area at the expense of clogging an artery. Now, the other interesting thing about this is calcium will tend to accumulate in certain parts of the body involving the control of pH, like the kidneys, like the stomach. So the stomach makes hydrochloric acid, and if you're not making enough hydrochloric acid and that stomach tissue becomes a little too alkaline, you'll have calcium deposits because of that. Then you have nanobacteria, which is the smallest known bacteria. They're very tiny, and you have these little microbes that hide in these little calcium shells or little igloos to protect themselves as a survival mechanism. Almost impossible to kill with antibiotics, and they're involved in so many diseases that have calcification connected to it, like periodontal disease or calcification in the arteries, or even kidney stones and sometimes gallstones. And just as a side note, if you suspect nanobacteria because you have calcification in any of these locations, I would recommend taking fulvic acid and something called EDTA. This is the natural chelator. Now, let me just shift gears to vitamin K2. Vitamin K1 has everything to do with clotting, okay, preventing bleeding. Vitamin K2 is completely different. It's involved in about 17 different proteins involving the movement of calcium out of the soft tissue back into the bone, out of the soft tissue into the teeth, for example. Now, there are other functions too. For example, one being involved in the mitochondria. This is one of the reasons why, if they have enough vitamin K2, they have a lot of energy. I personally notice when I take vitamin K2, I'm much stronger when I work out. So it has a lot to do with building up the mitochondria, especially with skeletal muscle, and providing endurance. So vitamin K2 has about stopping some type of bleeding going on in the body. Vitamin K2 is the transportation of calcium. And then comes up the question, is vitamin K2 a common vitamin deficiency? And the answer is yes.
병원에 있을 땐 그 말 못해.
Vitamin K2, and it could be for various reasons, but vitamin K2 is in organ meats, it's in egg yolks, it's in butter, it's in hard cheeses, it's in goose liver.
그래서 제가 계속
now,
전화번호를 달라고 하는 거예요.
Fermented soybeans, for example. There's a product called NATO. But in America, very few people consume fermented soybeans as NATO. Unless you live in Japan, you're probably not going to consume that on a regular basis. But if you did, you would get vitamin K2.
내 말이 들리나?
Now, you could take it from a supplement and get vitamin K2 very easily. But I just wanted to point out, it was discovered in 1994 that if you're deficient, the body will convert to vitamin K2. And in 1998, it was discovered that vitamin K1 could convert to vitamin K2 without the bacteria, like in your flora. Because it's in hard cheeses, it's in goose liver.
그래서 제가 계속 전화번호를 달라고 하는 거예요.
Fermented soybeans, for example. There's a product, but in America, very few people consume fermented soybeans as NATO, unless you live in Japan.
조항사님 전화번호 주세요. 제가 잘해드릴게요. 상처 안 받도록 잘해드릴게요. 그리고 일주일에 2번 오는 거 하고 싶은 이유가 최강 선생님을 보고 싶어서 그런 거야. 제가 뭐 최 강사님이 다른 남자랑 얘기하거나 아니면 그런 거 걱정을 해서 그런 게 아니고 너무 보고 싶어요. 보고 있는 거가 최 강사님이. 얼른 자지. 내일 일 해야 되지 않나?
Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight. Have no choice. Round two. Fight. Have no choice. Round three. Fight. Round four. Fight. Final round. Fight.
야, 이 개새끼. 아이고. 아.
Sugar. Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight.
야.
Round three. Fight. Round 4. Fight.
아, 왜 그랬냐. 아, 바보. 아, 방기역에서 나와.
Final round. Fight.
아, 계속 거의 유럽파.
Round 1. Fight.
아.
Round 3. Fight. Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight.
아. 아.
Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Fight. Round 4. Fight.
저게 안 맞다네.
You win. Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Fight. Round 4. Fight. Round one. Fight.
아, 나 진짜.
Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight.
아, 바보.
Get ready for the next battle.
최강사님 앉아요.
Absurd. And so that's his first problem. I want to start off this video by pointing out that this would have prevented his divorce.
This is a really good shake combo I like to use, and I think it works decently well.
If it worked so well, where's the pro card? If it worked so well, why did he have to suck out his fat? I mean, isn't it annoying when you lose your Wi-Fi? I hate losing my Wi-Fi, especially when I'm on a plane.
This is a Brain Rot special.
Cooking in the basement.
Coach Greg, in today's video, we're going to find out exactly how pathetic, lonely, and miserable Mike's life and his diet it really is. He just posted a video and it's called My Full Day of Eating at 6% Body Fat. Warning. I've already watched the video and it's way worse than I thought. I mean, he ends the video by saying if you want to watch him shower and go to bed with other men, you can click here. And that's just a start. In the rest of the video, he reveals that he's alone in an apartment building. He's not with his wife. Half the comments are on the divorce. And so Mike is revealing how pathetic his life it really is. I'm sorry. I'm just reporting the news. And so we're going to go over his diet. It's 3,700 calories. He's on a slight lean bulk, we're going to call it. He isn't actually 6%. He dreams he was 6%. I mean, all you have to do is look at the video. He's clearly not at 6%. Damn, bro's been cutting so hard he lost his wife. Too soon, too soon. Are we actually going to learn anything from watching this video? Nope, nothing. Only that just be glad you're not Mr. Mike. Can't learn anything from his diet. Don't follow his diet. Don't listen to what he's saying. And let me just read this comment. Y'all know that he had liposuction surgery to reduce his body fat, right? And his education and training knowledge was not enough to get a sculpted six-pack, right? And so why would we follow his diet? Like cheesy puffs and 4 protein bars is a meal? And I haven't even got into the video. That's the most depressing 3,700 calories I've ever seen. LOL, my God. And so just to summarize, 2 microwave meals, a couple of protein shakes, 4 protein bars, bread, and a bowl of cheese puffs. Apartment? Sorry, bro. Hope you're doing all right. Keep up the great content. Bro's a multi-millionaire with butlers and a gym right outside of his house, and now he's living in an apartment building, and he goes down the elevator to now go to the gym. That's how pathetic it's become. What happened to all his money? The best way to get through a breakup is lifting and good eating. Hope you're doing well, Mike. When you showed the pure protein bar, I thought, hey, I like those. Then when you said you're going to eat 4 of them, I felt nauseated. Decaf coffee with some hot water is some psycho-ass shit. Coach Greg Brain Rot Specialist, you guys already know. Wow. I knew it wasn't going to be a gourmet show, but I wasn't expecting to end up depressed looking at this diet. Extra points for that coffee. Coach Greg's going to have a field day with the Dr. Mike divorce files. And so many people have been sending me DMs talking about Mike Israel's divorce, and people writing in the comment, how do you know they're broke up? How do you actually know? And so this gentleman, he summarized it. He says the biggest pieces of the puzzle were Christy posting her new place in Philly on Insta, and both of them being in different places on Christmas last year. There are several smaller pieces, but I mean, why would Mike move out of his house? Why would he not be living with his wife? Why is he living in an apartment building? And why is he eating and doing everything on his own? And why would he want us to see his naked body and him sleeping with other men? And so you can all put 2 and 2 together and wonder, is Mike actually gay? I mean, he came out and said he was gay. I showed you that in a video. Coach Greg, and welcome to my new studio. And what a video I have for you. Mike Israel finally comes out as being gay. And so you can argue that he's bi. My personal opinion is that if you're a man and that you're bi, you're actually gay. If you can have sex with a man, you're gay. And now a woman can have sex with another woman. And to me, she's not gay, she's bi, because being a woman on woman is feminine. A woman with a man, she's still feminine. But if a man is getting pegged by another man, it's gay. You can be gay and have sex with girls, but you can't be straight and have sex with men. It doesn't work like that. It's not possible. It doesn't count, but hey, we can go toe-to-toe, back and forth, but I don't care. if you're bi and you're a man, you're actually gay. And let's start the video.
Full day of eating. I'm coming out of my bedroom.
He's coming out of his closet is where he's coming out of. Coming out of his bedroom. Coming out of the closet.
3 is how to live in an apartment in which everything is white. Am I going to that's right?
And so Mike's in a white apartment building. Perhaps it should be in a asylum, and by the end of watching Coach Greg's videos, he probably is going to be in one. I mean, the amount of content that Mike's giving me, it's going to feed generations.
And CBD gummies to manage the side effects on the brain from taking special support supplements.
And so he wakes up and takes
Why am I
performance-enhancing drugs,
sucking?
and because of that, he has to take CBD gummies to offset those side effects. I never saw anywhere in his arsenal that he was taking Turk Builder Max or even GO2 Max. Never saw it. He doesn't wake up and get blue lobstered. And so that's his first problem. I want to start off this video by pointing out that this would have prevented his divorce. If Mike were taking Turk Builder Max, he wouldn't get divorced. This is the cheat code. Yeah, it's going to help you build more muscle, not as much as steroids, but it prevents women from breaking up with you. They will see that you're a smart man. They're thinking, he's on Turk, he watches Coach Greg, he's a reasonable person. I can work with that. But think of the opposite. Being anti-Coach Greg, thinking that I'm an idiot, thinking that I'm the worst person that he's ever met. Add that to getting waist reduction surgery, sucking out his fat cells, undergoing those horrific surgeries, and imagining that somebody is going to want to put up with that. Imagine, as a woman, you have option A and option B. One is you go for the guy that watches Coach Greg, and option B is you go for the guy that hates Coach Greg. Which is the red flag? I rest my case. Code Greg, 15% off. And remember, money back guarantee and a $50 gift card. If it doesn't, keep your divorces at bay.
Blood pressure medications, metformin, things like that.
And so, you know, I'm just on my blood pressure medications, the metformin, because he's probably on early onset of type 2 diabetes. He probably has high blood pressure from all the steroids. And he's going a little, well, insane from taking the steroids. Remember the last time he was on a cycle and all he felt was rage? He wanted to rip dogs apart. This is coming from the man who's both bigger and stronger than Mike Menzer.
I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Menzer. That's it.
And who, if you give him a year, he'll be better than the thing that you do best. Not to mention, he's smarter than almost, if perhaps, every single coach in the world.
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter than almost
That's Mr. Mike. So Mike's first problem is he looks more like Casper the Friendly Ghost than a bodybuilder. Bro, we all know it's about having a proper tan, and so the supplements that you should be adding, perhaps Milano Tan 2, or perhaps like Mepsigram, you can actually rub on a fake tanner. It actually works. And so Mike, if you really want to make some gains, you gotta get the darker skin.
I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Menzer. That's it. So all of a sudden, changed the game. I'm more educated than Mike Menzer. I know more things than Mike Menzer.
And so there's the first mistake. He doesn't eat breakfast. He goes to the gym fasted. He drives over to the gym. Let me remind you, he used to walk outside to his personal gym that he had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on. It was a sauna. He would go in and speak Russian in, and, hey, I want to suck your cock. That was the Mike gym.
How many of you have had a recurring fantasy where a tank top wearing hairy Russian man is sitting across from you in the sauna?
No one. Zero. Zero! Zilch nada, none of a zero! 0 times! None have thought of this! My goodness.
Your shape of cock.
Nice, yeah? He would use that to get some vascularity, to get better poses so that his veins were coming to fruition. That is no longer. What happened to Mike's house, to his gym? Release the divorce files.
Workout shake during the gym, a little bit after, and then my first actual human meal is going to be after the gym.
And so training fasted for a bodybuilder, it makes no sense. So what you want to do is you eat protein, because Your body has up to 5 opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur. If you go without eating, how are you building muscle? Where are the building blocks? You know, the amino acids. You need 3 things to build muscle. You need amino acids, you need water, and you need energy. If you consume none of those things, how are you building muscle? Where exactly are you going to be getting the building blocks to build up your biceps if you don't eat or consume any? You are not. And so think of it as a construction site. You're building a house. When you're on steroids, you have like 50 workers working for you, and they're ready. Without steroids, you only have 5. The house takes a lot longer to build. If you don't give it any food in the morning, there's no protein, there's no water, there's no energy, you have 50 guys sitting there doing nothing, waiting. Does that make sense? And so Mike wakes up in the morning and is hoping, praying to build muscle, and because he's on steroids, he could build a lot of muscle, but his workers are sitting there with their arms crossed thinking, when are you going to start? They're twiddling their thumbs and being paid like most government workers, doing mostly nothing, sitting on the side of the highway. You know what I'm saying.
I'd recommend, in most cases, using a fruit-based protein or a vanilla protein if you're going to make a shake out of it.
And so meal 1 is going to be consumed at the gym eventually once he gets there, and it's Gatorade, protein powder, and some bullshit electrolyte drink. How many of you think that this is the ideal first meal in the morning? And he consumes a little bit of it while working out and consumes the rest later. Do you think that that is ideal? Mr. Mike is willing to go through torture, surgeries, to suck out his fat cells, to cut his skin off, but he can't just eat meal 1. At this point, why doesn't Mike just swallow his pride, hire Coach Greg, and go after him?
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter. Almost every coach, maybe everything.
Think of it. A chocolate protein drink mixed with Gatorade, that is meal 1. A multi-millionaire, one who formerly had Lamborghinis for his butlers. That is what he eats.
What that does for me is it gives me a drink that mutes muscle wasting.
What it does for him in reality is it prevents him from experiencing human pleasure. Like, why would he consume this? The cookbook. Mike, have you even opened it up? Have you even for 1 second considered that perhaps some anabolic French toast, some protein pancakes, the list of meals in this book, that even you could make them? Mike, I am not a gourmet chef. Clearly, you are even worse. And I'm telling you, even Mr. Mike, you know, the guy with over 400 mistakes on a PhD thesis, even that guy could do this. That is how easy this book is. Even a guy who could write as horrible of a PhD as Mr. Mike, even that person would understand this book. I made it that simple, Mike. I was thinking of guys like you and mine, university students who don't have the time, they don't have the wherewithal to figure out how to cook delicious recipes. I had guys like Mr. Mike in mind, and so if you want the best cookbook in the world, code Greg 50% off, click the link in the description.
This shake gives me energy because of the carbohydrates. It primes anabolism with the decent amount of protein that I have.
Imagine if you needed energy. Picture this, we're waking up on Saturday morning and we're about to do a Zwift bike race, myself with my HTLT cycling team. And our plan, we're fasted, and then we get on the bike and we have 30 grams of Gatorade with some protein powder and some electrolytes, and we do the race. You know, a race which requires energy. You know, you're training hard, you're pushing the pedals, you're putting out some power with your quads, similar to going and doing some squats. How do you think we're going to do? 30 grams of carbs. It's 120 calories from carbs. The guys on my team are consuming anywhere between 60 and 120 grams of carbs per hour. Per hour! Mike's having 30 his entire morning, and thanks, you know, for energy. 30 grams of carbs, when you wake up flat from dieting, is not going to be enough to give you energy for a sustained level of effort. You can't push hard in the gym eating like Mr. Mike. But remember, did anyone claim that Mr. Mike actually trained hard? And so Mike should preface, I'm going to go and do a half-ass pussy bitch workout that only people following Renaissance are going to follow. You know, guys who train like Jeff Nippa, the dropout dentista who won't take your picture. This is the type of guys who are buying the RP app. Guys who think that people who get 400 plus mistakes on a freaking PhD draft and then lie about it being the first draft, and they still don't care. And so if you're that guy, yeah, keep buying his app and keep going to the gym, training half-ass with 3 reps in fucking reserve.
This is a really good shape combo I like to use, and I think it works decently well.
If it works so well, where's the pro card? If it works so well, why did he have to suck out his fat? If it works so well, where's your Wi-Fi? I mean, isn't it annoying when you lose your Wi-Fi? I hate losing my Wi-Fi, especially when I'm on a plane. I really value my Wi-Fi, and without my Wi-Fi, where would I be? I would be lost, sitting there aboard, wondering, what could I do if only my Wi-Fi had left me? Sorry.
Ingredients, I've been on this for a while, and I really, really like it. Of course, the RP Nyko chap is just a swipe away from checking it in. And of course, the RP Nyko chap is just a swipe away from checking it in.
You know what's a swipe away is Mike finding the man of his dreams on Grindr. That's what's a swipe away.
뭐야? 아, 오줌마려.
Get ready for the next battle.
got us a corpse and cartridge occasion.
Before we get into this video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're so close to 40,000 subs. Season 3 just released, and I want to give you guys kind of a look at everything that's currently going on while we're waiting for the developers to give us some more updates. The first thing that happened, and this one is pretty major, is the closing of one of the legendary arcades in Japan. You know, there's not many arcades that exist all over the world. Some of them are still holding on, but this one here, as you can see in this video, they let that door down for one final time, and everyone stood outside, cheered, celebrated, recorded, just appreciated the moment. You have another clip here from earlier in the day where someone went actually inside and just recorded and kind of was like archiving like the arcade in its final form. This arcade is what the developers went to, what so many pro players went to, what so many casuals went to. This board here, you can see all of the different signatures of people who visited this place. So it is kind of sad to see that this place is closing, but at the same time, nothing lasts forever, and arcades has been dying ever since the early 2000s. Now, as we move away from the past and we step forward to the future is the new characters. The future is the new game, the new characters, and what they can do, which is mostly buffs, 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 like you see here with this buff version of Marizu. But the past isn't all gone. You have a very exciting news coming from Team Spooky, where one of the legendary tournaments that took place during TEKKEN8. To my understanding, it was largely online, but they're bringing it back, but this time offline. This is great news because a lot of people are quitting Tekken. A lot of people are losing faith in Tekken. There's a lot of places that are struggling to continue to have players. Like, for example, there was this local that said, shout out to Bamco for putting the basics back into Tekken and the players back into locals. And this is a TEKKEN8 local where there's no one there. So while some places are closing down, it's good to see that legends, icons, and people of the past are still going hard in TEKKEN8, still keeping the game alive, and they're still giving the players who do want to play an opportunity to play. And also, while we're on the topic of the past, for those of you who don't know, on March 17th, I think this was the same time Season 3 went live, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, the PSP version, became available in the PlayStation catalogs for you to play. A lot of people were kind of sad that it is the PSP version. I personally don't know why Bandai Namco isn't releasing the full game itself, or even taking it a step further and putting it into Tekken 8 Lounge where players can play head-to-head. That has been a requested feature since launch, but if I had to take a guess, I think this is more so about data collection. The Tekken developers spoke in the past about not being sure if the players even wanted a product like this. Some people push for it. Sometimes it seems like a lot of people, but them releasing it in this way, which is kind of seems like a very cheap way to do it, maybe more so a cost-effective way of seeing how many players actually want it. So just go there and experience it if you have the classic catalog. If you don't want to purchase it, I totally understand. The reason why that is because what the game is offering right now isn't really living up to player expectations. Currently right now on Steam, the recent reviews is mostly negative. Now, this is a lot of negative reviews, but it's not necessarily an official review bomb. It's not that much backlash this time around because a lot of people are kind of expecting to be disappointed. There is still some hope because the Tekken developer released a dev portal. Now, I made one video about it where I kind of was just looking at what's in there. I think I'll make another video soon just to see what's happening and what kind of videos are being posted, what kind of feedback is being given to the developers. Because I know when you look into the character-by-character section, there's a lot of downplay and there's a lot of controversy. But before we get to that, just looking at the official tweet about the dev portal, they're just talking about some of the things that they want to go after. And I think this is important to understand because a lot of people are getting confused with what they mean by feedback. And you can see here that it says bugs, reports, and gameplay issues. Reports, cheating, and toxic behavior. In here, they don't really say that they're looking to take balancing feedback. They're only trying to address bugs, which kind of was my initial prediction of what this would be. The developers don't want to hear no feedback about how to balance the game. They only want you to tell you what isn't working properly with the game, and then they'll fix that. Michael Murray says, this is a rare tweet from him, yes, we are reading the threads. Thank you to everyone already participating. The portal is now the only place where we are constantly reading. So if you want to be heard, this is the place. So they're trying to remove the conversation off of Twitter and into this portal where they will listen. A lot of people think it's a good idea that the conversation is no longer clogging up the entirety of the Tekken section on Twitter. Some people believe that it's the developers trying to take the conversation off of Twitter to where they could then ignore it and not have it affect anything. A respected member of the community, Blast Salami, says respectfully, this doesn't line up with my experience. When I criticized Bakaram in Tekken 7, I was quietly blacklisted, then ignored when I tried to discuss it privately. It's hard to believe that feedback is taken in good faith when that's how constructive criticism is handled. Blacklisting is something that the developers are very good at, just like blocking. They've done it to many different content creators, many different pro players, many different professional commentators. So it makes sense that people are hesitant about giving feedback.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that people aren't giving feedback. This Reddit post here just looked at each individual character section where you go and give feedback, and it just documented which characters are receiving the most comments. And as you can see here, the two characters at a time who have the most comments were Reina and Kazuya, followed by some of the most popular characters in the game like King, Brian, and Dragunov. You guys can see the rest of the list and how it plays out. One thing that I will say, and this is just something that I noticed about the Kazuya mains and Reina mains from making content, is whenever I do bring up those characters, like if I talk about Reina's 442, or if I talk about Kazuya's being cheap or something like that, the comment section will be filled with people who disagree. And that's because there's a lot of players and they are very passionate about their character. But also at the same time, some of them disagree. You have some Mishima purists who want the character to be the way that he always was, but then you have some new people who want the characters to do something more, something greater, and keep up with everyone else. So a lot of comments being there for those two characters makes so much sense for me after doing content creation for all these years. The dangerous aspect of this is for all of these characters, a lot of people are in there downplaying and just requesting the most diabolical buffs. When this happened on Twitter, we were able to respond to them, make fun of them, and tell the developers that we don't want that. But now that this is going on basically in the Discord, where not everyone is paying attention, it's much more likely to go unchecked. Now, one thing that I want to talk about as well is Tekken's relationship with PlayStation. Tekken, believe it or not, is one of the games that gave PlayStation an advantage over its competitors way back in the day. When Tekken 1 and Tekken 3 and all of these games were being created, Tekken 5, it was groundbreaking. It was phenomenal. It was genre-defining, genre-creating, world-changing. And since it was on the PlayStation platform, it gave them a huge advantage. And ever since those older games, the relationship between the two companies have been unbreakable. You can see this even with Tekken 8 marketing, where PlayStation was pushing Tekken 8 just as hard as Bandai Namco was. And it's cool to see these two companies have that relationship, but at the same time, PlayStation just released a website where they document the greatest heroines on PlayStation. Now, of course, they have a lot of characters that they created. That's very like PlayStation to do that, put all of their characters at the very top. You have icons like Lara Croft is there, that makes sense. Last of Us 2, that's their game. But then if you scroll down past, Jill Valentine and some of these other characters, you get to a point here where they have Chun-Li. This is super fascinating because even PlayStation knows that Chun-Li in Street Fighter is more powerful of a brand than Tekken. And when I talk about how Tekken needs to fight back on a brand level, this is why. How do we get Reina, Lily, Jun Kazama, Zhao Yu, some of the female characters of our game on this list? If their partner PlayStation don't even consider their characters to be the greatest, how can we expect the rest of the gaming space? And this is where addressing criticism and listening to players come into play. You have this tweet here from Blackheart where he's talking about all of the game-breaking bugs that currently exist in the game and also how the developers haven't acknowledged it at all. In Season 2, we saw they did a quick emergency patch to fix the issues that went on there, but this time around, they're breaking silence. How long will that silence last? How long will it take for some of these issues to be fixed? Will we have to wait until Kurimitsu? Will we have to wait longer? We don't know because the developers haven't said anything. You also have this tweet here from Tim where he says he doesn't understand how he's supposed to improve the Tekken because it's just a 50-50 situation. You can understand what your opponent is doing against you, but you can still lose to it because he gets wrong. And when the pro players are even struggling to this, succumbing to this, what do you think is happening on a lower level of skill like the Moonsault Slayer? It is just madness wildness and the robberies, and this is why I think so many players are upset when they play this game and so stressed out when they play this game, because they know what's happening, but they still lose. And what's really crazy about this is how Tekken doesn't seem to be slowing down with this gameplay design. In Season 2, there was a couple of characters who were very fun to fight against, but that is changing as time goes on. Like with Fade Wet, Chroma highlights here in his tweet how he is now becoming a stance dancing character. The characters don't really go through all the stances. Every update, the developers know that, they see that, and they give them more stances. So where does this all lead us? Where does Tekken go from here? I don't know. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and bye-bye.
Round 1. Fight.
그렇지. 그렇지.
Round 2. Fight. Round 3. Final round. Fight. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight.
이걸 도대체 몇 시간 동안 하는 거야? 몇 시간? 3시간.
Round four. Fight. Final round. Fight.
아이 실수. 아.
Get ready for the next battle.
좀 멀까?
ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight.
아, 잘한다. 계급이 높으니까 잘한다. 아,
Round 3. Fight. Round 4. Fight.
뭐 좀 먹고 올게요. 자세가 최강 선생님.
At face value, accepting that, well, I believe in angels, and so, this kind of magic thing can happen. She's still objecting scientifically, even though she might not have the terminology to understand, like, the complexities of childbirth and embryology and all of that. So I would say, this is what the writer C.S. Lewis calls chronological snobbery. But he says, we need to be careful of not to ascribe the ancient world as being more ignorant and stupid than just because we are a product of the Enlightenment and we understand scientific things now. The second thing is, I think that the Chinese Whispers, or the telephone game, or whatever you call it, is a good kind of case study. I think where it falls short is that if you play the telephone game, if you play Chinese Whispers, there are rules in order to corrupt the message. So you have to whisper, you can only say it once, you have to do it one person to one person. In an oral culture, you would have been hearing these stories constantly. So when some of these stories are told, they're being told within a lifetime where there could have been individuals who say the story of the feeding of the 5,000. That's a lot of people. So there's a lot of witnesses to this particular event. So if you're writing this down, there's an aspect of there are people out there who could verify what is being said, at least orally, not necessarily like literarily. Likewise, what we have in the gospel accounts, particularly after Jesus' death, when the disciples were claiming his resurrection, they go back to Jerusalem, which is the scene of the crime. So they go back to the exact place where Jesus was crucified and start telling people he was risen from the dead. If there is some aspect of, say, disingenuousness and making up a story, don't go back to the place where everybody could have seen that thing happen to that degree, right? So in one sense, Chinese Whispers is a faulty analogy in that it's less like one person whispering into another's ear and more like 100 people in a room all communicating the thing verbally and then getting the other people to repeat it back to them and then corroborating with the other individuals of what's going on. Now, I think your point in the story of your grandmother and the letter and is a good one. How do we remember things? Do you remember 9/11?
Yes, I do. Yes, and I was in the UK at the time.
Could you tell me a little bit more vividly what you were doing on 9/11 compared to your grandmother and the letter?
Yes, I could, yeah. I remember coming home from school and watching it on the screen and my dad having it on the screen and I was sort of just looking at the screen.
Yeah, me too. So
much of what else happened during an average day in that year, I could tell you what happened on September 11th, 2001. And that's because of the nature of what was going on. And I think when we're talking about the gospel stories in particular, first you have what I genuinely believe are eyewitness accounts from at least the source information coming from a group who would have heard Jesus be preaching these things multiple times in multiple different settings. Like it's probably likely, myself as an itinerant, I have given the same talk on a particular subject quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I joke with my wife that she could give my talk on the historical reliability of the Bible herself. You know, if I'm sick, I'll just send my wife, right? Because she's heard it so many times. I think that's the case that's going on with the disciples.
Mm-hmm.
There's an aspect of they would have heard, say, the Beatitudes.
Yeah.
That Jesus, most likely more than once, is the case. Because that's just the nature of not just itinerant speaking, but even traveling rabbis in the ancient world. And then you have this event that is kind of earth-shattering in terms of their narrative of who they are. They've been traveling with this rabbi for 3 years straight. They've been hearing his teaching. They've been seeing miracles, at least that are recorded in the Gospels. Pretty phenomenal things. And then he gets taken and he's murdered publicly. And they think it's over. They think, you know, there are other messianic movements in the ancient world, most of which you and I aren't hearing on a regular basis, because when those individuals die, their movement dies with them. And so that's what they think is happening, right? So they think, okay, we're done. So the story is they're hiding in this upper room, and they're scared. In fact, it's the women who take on the responsibility of, like, going and figuring things out, which, in terms of the time period, is actually an embarrassing fact, because of the kind of cultural dynamics of what's going on. And so you have the disciples who think it's over. What is it that